State of the bracket that we have for you. So as we mentioned before, we just saw a couple of tiebreaker matches, and as a result, we see that Crawnster has moved on past Tim, who's eliminated again in 5th place. Wesso moved on past Woody, again 5th place. And so our remaining matches in the next round here will be Jjjosie versus Crawnster and 24 versus Wesso.
Yeah. Yeah, and taking a look at those prizes, Woody and Tim are not going to go home empty-handed today. Each one of them is going to get a good chunk of change, $250 a piece. And again, for the players remaining, just about $1,000 in prizes to be expected, with first place going home with a big $3,000. That is 2 Quest Pros, incredibly so.
That's right.
Some super amazing matches coming up. We've got Crawnster versus Jjjosie, and then 24 versus Wesso. I think both of those matches are going to be incredible in their own rights. But, really looking forward to the potentials that we could get for those final matches. I think on both sides of these brackets. I think that these next 4 matches might be the best matches that have ever been aired in Blaston history, as short as Blaston history might be at this point.
I think that's a really cool perspective. They're ones that we haven't yet seen this weekend. These are not rematches quite yet. So I think that's cool. I do recall, I think if I'm right, Jjjosie yesterday during the interview said that he was looking forward to playing Crawnster.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Again, everybody in the community just knows each other, usually scrims against each other unless they have a reason not to. And I do believe that these two do scrim fairly often. So I think the favorite opponent here is going to be Jjjosie again. Very long-lasting member in the community, known to some as the best Blaston player. But Crawnster has just sort of really taken everybody by storm this season. Just coming in as the cowboy of Blaston and really rolling and dealing with those double Vipers. It can be very, very risky going up against him. Even if you have the upper hand, that can change in an instant. So it'll be very interesting to see who comes out on top in this matchup.
Yeah, and in seeing Jjjosie play yesterday, I absolutely understand, and I've seen him play before. I get why everybody has such strong things to say about his play style. And in the interview, as he discussed things, he's clearly thinking about it a lot. He's clearly thinking about the physicality of it a lot, and is very well practiced when it comes to that sort of stuff. The control that he can have, I think, is very, very impressive.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and that really is the through line between everyone who's left in these finals. Every single one of these players is known for having truly immaculate dodging skills. Jjjosie has been known for it for a while. 24 obviously is fantastic at it. So, I think that in these last couple matches, we're going to see a lot of a lot of great plays, but also a lot of great dodging. So, at least personally, I'm going to have to rely less on those numbers popping up and more so be able to recognize when those numbers aren't popping up in some circumstances. All right, and I believe that we are going to go ahead and get into our very first round of our first match here. Crawnster versus Jjjosie. Let's go. Crawnster's build looking remarkably similar to what he was running before against Tim. I don't think any major changes actually at all. Could be wrong on that. And meanwhile, Jjjosie bringing that Viper Ellipse, bringing the Charge Hammer, as well as that Hammer Nade as well. Also bringing that Aegis Shield. Crawnster doesn't feel like he needs an Aegis Shield in this mode.
You're right. He has exactly the same layout or build that he had in the last match that we just saw versus Tim. So feeling comfortable, and why not? He had a significant 3-0 win, so why not feel that good?
All right. Here we go, land some solid damage on Jjjosie.
Yeah, here we go. The
down to about half health.
The two-handers, yep! That Aegis Shield was not enough there. It wasn't at the right spot. Jjjosie's still coming in. He does.
But Jjjosie able to land it himself as well. Managed to nail Crawnster on that noggin with one of those Viper Ellipse bullets.
And you could really see the height in-game here that Jjjosie's bringing. And as he whips those Viper Ellipses from way up high down at the Crawnster. Oh, jeez. Crawnster trying it as well.
Crawnster really hitting the ground there, trying to go around the Viper Ellipses.
Yeah, great movement by Crawnster, certainly.
Very nice.
Setup will come. And he's finding some hits, in fact.
30 seconds left on the clock.
That's plenty of time when you got 2 Vipers in your hands.
Yep. And you're seeing here Jjjosie really trying to focus on using his weapons to drop block. He doesn't even want to have to worry about those Viper shots if he can help it. Ooh, that's going to get very close. Force Jjjosie back.
Oh, Crawnster wants some big damage stuff to spawn. Unfortunately, that's not what the Q's giving him right now. Yeah.
Ooh, but Crawnster doesn't go down. He brings Jjjosie to the red. Unfortunately, maybe seconds away from getting that second Viper Lips shot off. We'll never know. Jjjosie is going to go ahead and take round 1.
It just seemed like Crawnster got a little unlucky with what was coming up on the Q towards the end of things there. Can happen sometimes. Doing a little bit of damage at the start here from Jjjosie's trying. Oh my god, you could see that Viper Lips barely miss Crawnster.
Okay. Crawnster managing to get off some of those Raptor Ellipses as well. Again, a big focus for Crawnster specifically, considering he does not have a shield, is going to be really drop blocking as much as he can. He gets hit with a second one. Oh no, Crawnster being brought down to less than 30 health. Oh, but excellent dodging around the hammer nade there. He's still in this heading into the last minute.
Absolutely. Especially with that gun in his right hand. Oh no, Jjjosie finds it.
Now. Getting a little bit creative with those bounces now. That might be exactly what he needs. We'll see.
Jjjosie just moving away. Setup will come. 50 on the clock. Monster's just trying to find any hit here.
No. I can't even. I don't think that Jjjosie fired a single shot. I think that was Crawnster stepping out of bounds just very, very slightly there. And we're going to go right into a rematch.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, blast on.
Okay, the bounce. Forcing Jjjosie backwards and down.
Ooh. Nice drop block there from Crawnster. Getting rid of one of those Raptor Ellipse bullets, more than enough. It might be a matter of taking a small lead and maintaining it if you can't land those double Vipers.
Now again, Jjjosie just moving out of the way so consistently. Drop blocking as well. Either he's out of the way or he's got a weapon in front of stuff. It just seems like so hard to hit him.
Oh, Crawnster. Oh no! Crawnster trying to roll out of the way of the Viper Ellipse, but managed to roll directly into that hammer nade, unfortunately. That's not going to be good for him.
And without really having anything to set him up, especially now that that nade's gone.
Ooh.
Nice!
Jjjosie tried to get fancy and Crawnster called him out on it.
Great movement there by Crawn.
Both of them are sitting right at the front of their podium still.
Really trying to come up close, but Jjjosie finds it again!
Oh man, Jjjosie though whipping that around, nailing Crawnster in the head, and taking round 1.
Viper spawn early here for Crawnster. Just waiting it out, looking for something else to get things going for him. Yes, it's the Raptor E. Meanwhile, Jjjosie setting things up well. Yes, he finds a couple of those pellets. A similar idea here from Crawnster. As everything's flying towards Jjjosie, he had the shield there just in time.
Yep, but again, the fact that Crawnster getting hit with the Viper Ellipse, the fact that Jjjosie's even brought that shield, you know, it gives him just enough space at some points to be able to get out of it. Nice job. That nade pops right in front of him, but he doesn't panic. He stays calm, drop blocks what he can, and that gives him just enough room to get through it.
Just looking around. Oh man.
Oh no! Crawnster took his eye off the ball!
Yes.
Oh no.
Caught well by Crawn there, but again, he needs to find some significant damage, and that just feels so difficult versus Jjjosie.
Yep, again. Jjjosie really strategically planning out his spacing on the front of his podium, drop blocking, pretty much 100% of Crawnster's bullets at this point. or at least the bullets that really matter.
Yeah, the ones that are
again,
actually
you know,
connect.
he's not even having to hit the ground. He's really not having to do too much movement. He can just see right through and stuff that he'd usually have to hit the ground in order to get around.
Yeah.
He's just going ahead and shielding that, and a stray Raptor Ellipse bullet is going to go ahead and take game 2 for Jjjosie. And we are going to see the swap here. Do you think that Crawnster is going to go ahead and bring that shield?
That is a good question. Yeah, I mean, the idea of his build seems to me like he wants to get the big damage out of those Vipers and sets things up in order to make that happen. But that just isn't what's happening. To the extent that he's dealt damage versus Jjjosie, almost all of it has been through the actual bullet hell setup portion of what he's been doing. Jjosie's done a fantastic job at evading or drop blocking versus the actual big damage stuff. So, you know, maybe you see that and feel like you want to go into more of what is working, but that just doesn't seem like what Crawnster's style is.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. You know, Jjosie's been in this game for so long that, you know, that's sort of his signature at this point. We've seen a lot of people really just scoot across the ground all match. Jjjosie, on the other hand, doesn't need to do that. He can just sit there and really strategically plan out his shields and plan out his movement. And again, you know, we saw him a lot of the times when he did have to dodge, sort of dodging forward to be able to immediately have the upper hand and hopefully apply a counterattack against Cron while he's sitting there on the front of his podium.
Did see Cron bring in a couple of other stuff yesterday when he was playing against 24, which was not a win for him. 24 took that. He did have things like the Avalanche Nade in there as well. But every time he's played, he's had double Viper. So that doesn't seem like something that he's willing to switch away from.
Yeah, and I don't think he should, honestly. Again,
it's like a strength of his, yeah.
You know, I think there's a good chance that he might even, you know, drop it in favor of Illuma. I think that would be the wrong choice here. I really think that he should come in with that double Viper, make changes to the rest of the pieces of his build, and you know, if he's gonna go big or go home, he might as well go big. You know?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, look, he's already made it into 4th place. It's a pretty good showing. Everybody thinks so highly of Jjjosie that losing to Jjjosie here, it doesn't feel bad necessarily. And you do end up with, what do you got? 4th place is $750.
$750.
So,
750 smackaroons, but you know what? Again, I have a feeling that the players, even if those prize pools were halved or even completely eliminated, I still feel like they'd be here, just showing it off. So to some degree, you know, on one hand, if Crawnster does go home right now, no harm, no foul. But on the other hand, if he does manage to make a change that works, much like Wesso managed to make against Woody, I mean, hey, who knows what could happen? So definitely holding it out for Crawnster here. I told him I was going to root for him. So it's his own fault, really.
Yeah. You're the you're the harbinger of doom, huh?
Yep. Oh, the caster curse is prevalent against everybody and everything. But yeah, you know, really, you know, we talked too about Monty, a player that really came up in the, you know, has been playing before this season of VRML and then the Blaston Championship. Crawnster is another one of those players who was in the community, but, you know, Jjjosie was talking yesterday about, you know, him playing on Golden Knight. I think I saw Golden Knight in chat. Golden Knight's crew battles. And then Crawnster really starting to take the game a lot more seriously. So we're, in a way, sort of having another mentor-master battle here between these two. We have loaded in. We're seeing Jjjosie go ahead and pick up the double Vipers and pretty much matching Crawnster's, well, yeah, with just a few slight changes, actually meeting Crawnster at their level.
Interesting. Coming
in with the double Vipers himself, Crawnster has actually made a complete change to his build.
Is that so?
He is now running the extra damage, extra collision, frostbite, still running that fast hammer lip, still running the Wildcat, but more importantly, bringing that Aegis shield. Again, we were talking about how for Jjjosie, this was the thing that really allowed him to relax a little bit and not have to focus on dodging every single projectile. And hopefully it gives Crawnster a similar amount of space here, getting into match 3. I do believe we're going to be going ahead and starting right now. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll get in there shortly. Here we go.
All right.
Yeah, Cron hasn't, in fact, given up the Vipers. Both Vipers out of there.
Amazing amazing dodging from Crawnster there on the floor. That was incredible. Oh my goodness. That was something straight out of the Matrix right
sick.
there.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're also seeing Jjjosie also, you know, not always firing that Viper directly at Crawnster. Really using you know, the full capabilities of a bouncing weapon to get stuff done here. Oh, unfortunately, Crawnster dodges directly into that Viper ellipse. As we were talking about, sometimes we were talking about yesterday, sometimes hitting the floor actually increases the size of your hurt and can result in you getting hit.
Nade in hand here for Crawnster. Stand for Jjjosie, setting things up for him. Swinging it around, the Aegis shield from Crawnster coming into play. Take a look from first-person view there as Crawnster was able to dodge around that Viper shot.
Yeah, these first-person views really just showing you how much movement and how much these players all have to worry about. You know, especially in the first person, how you're seeing, you know, them look at weapons, look behind them, look above them. Jjjosie's taking a lot of damage from that hammer nade, and actually the follow-up from the Raptor ellipse is going to bring him down to the red.
Absolutely, he's suddenly in trouble here. Now he's just a couple of Viper shots away from still taking it. He's got Viper in hand. Crawnster,
2 seconds left on the clock.
Down in life now. The dancing from him, able to get away from stuff, but he needs things to spawn, get things going.
Hammer Lips is on the field, and Jjjosie does not have a shield. He's going to have to rely on his dodging here. Woo! Crawnster manages to get hit in the last few seconds. Oh, and unfortunately, Jjjosie is going to take out Crawnster with 1 second left on the clock to spare.
2, 1, blast off.
And you can really get a sense for the height of Jjjosie there as we're looking from that side view. Potential displacement that he has, you know, the ability to play as tall as he is, go all the way down as well to ground level. That is a huge difference that the opponent has to account for.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, using the charge hammer, just completely on reaction at that point. Using the charge hammer. Ooh,
yeah, you can see him leave Crawnster. He found exactly where Crawnster was headed.
He actually comboed it with itself. He used the bounce to force Crawnster off on the right side of his podium.
Yeah, Crawnster's got to look from behind. Yeah, the bouncing Viper shot was coming. And that's where Jjjosie is going to end up taking it 3-0.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely incredible job from Crawnster there still.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely getting just obliterated by that double Viper setup from Jjjosie in that last match up there. You know, very well played from both these players. I won't dwell on it too much, but super exciting to see Jjjosie head forward into the championship finals. We do again have Cap with us on the desk. Cap, Jjjosie went ahead and beat Crawnster at his own game. How about that?
I mean, I've seen Jjjosie repeatedly pick the exact same loadout as the person he's playing and then beat them with it. And by person, I mean me. So I get it, Crawnster. But no, I mean, Jjjosie's the best player in America. I think Crawnster did incredibly well. I was really surprised to see him get off double Vipers, because that's kind of his go-to in the last game. And move to a more kind of bullet hell centric style of loadout. And for the first round, he was really making it look quite lethal. So Crawnster showing some versatility that maybe a lot of us, myself included, didn't know was there. But again, similar to Monty and Tesseract, Crawnster and Jjjosie, Crawnster is someone that Jjjosie's kind of tried to teach, tried to get involved in the game. And Jjjosie fully sort of says that he doesn't want to take successful Crawnstar's achievements. They are his own. But, you know, I think Jjjosie's probably a bit proud of how far Crawnster's come. But yeah, it's trying to land Vipers on Jjjosie, although we see it happen there. It's so hard because he's so used to them. He's so familiar with the Viper that he just sees it coming. And you see that downward Viper accuracy in these replays, just heading him back to back. Like, Crawnstar's dodging at the back of his podium, and yet Jjjosie knows how to land that with such pinpoint accuracy and speed that it's so hard to kind of come back from in any way. And while most players do get caught out by Crawnstar's very unorthodox kind of patterns when it comes to swinging his Vipers left and right and doing those weird shots. Jjjosie just reads it so well. He knows where it's coming, and he's always got either like a weapon or a shield just to get rid of the danger. We just saw in a previous clip there, he shot the nade out of the sky, and that's all about just reducing Crawnstar's ability to put pressure on him. And again, going back to something that Jjjosie actually told us in the interview yesterday, you saw lots of counter pressure from Jjjosie. Whenever Crawnstar came to the front of his podium, he's always kind of swinging something forward, either a Raptor or putting a bit of Wildcat poke down, just to force him back, force him to not focus entirely on landing those hits, focus on dodging as well.
What I love about that replay package is that you showed so much of why Jjjosie is strong. That is to say, so much versatility from him. We saw the Viper shots that he's whipping from 7 feet in the air or whatever, right? Like that is really tough to dodge. You could see the angle that he's bringing down. You could also see him dodging. You could see him, as you just mentioned, shooting the nade out of the sky, and you could see him using the shield at important times. And it just seemed like it was a great, showing of him having everything you need to be one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, I think one thing to say is lots of players are very good at specific skill sets. For example, like Sloyd is an amazing dodger, as Monty. And then you have players with amazing aggression, like the case of Turbo. I know I'm just picking out EU players, but yeah, Crawnstar's got great aggression too, and good dodging as well, actually. So, but when you have players like Jjjosie and Tesseract, they're just good at everything. They don't really have a weak point. They understand the game so well, and they execute the game so well that unless you're another one of those top 3 players, throwing in 24's name in there as well, playing them just feels like you've got worse, like you've just picked up the game for the first time, because you're doing stuff which you think is going to work, and they're just like, oh no, I just throw a gun at that.
And they're barely even moving to get around your stuff, like full Ultra Instinct, truly.
It's the limited movement, because most of us players, if you see my dodging, it's completely side to side of the podium, similar to Crawn's, but much less effective. But because they understand the space and the hitboxes of the bullets so much, they'll just tilt a little bit and it'll go past them. And that's not just for conserving energy, but it also is giving them more options, because if another bullet comes, they just tilt a little bit more. And it's not putting themselves in a disadvantaged perspective by having themselves caught out of position necessarily.